Berlin 2013. A group of young professionals takes part in the leadership training Education for Sustainable Development, ESD, a training that addresses people from India, Mexico, Germany, and South Africa. People from India, Mexico, Germany, and South Africa? Why?
You have to deal with global problems, and these global problems have local dimensions.
I think the education for sustainable development is different in each country. It's different in Mexico, it's different in Germany, India, and South Africa. The definition is not different. The difference is that issues that come in each country.
The global dimensions of sustainable development are a challenge. Therefore, ESD experts from India, Mexico, Germany, and South Africa are involved. But why do we need a new educational concept? A leadership training? Why do we need ESD?
Whoa, that's a great question. There are maybe thousands of answers to that, but maybe one can put it in a nutshell and saying, we want the world to have a future.
You don't have to look far around you anywhere, whether you're in Germany or South Africa, to see that the life support systems that support us are running down.
The global warming problem, it's a very important one that we didn't have 20 years ago. The extinction of thousands of species in the earth, the hole in the ozone layer, the number of humans that are on the earth now, it's much, much bigger. And the scarcity of drinking water, among other problems, are very different now from 20 years ago.
Our modern societies are straining the resources of the earth. A lot of new challenges have arisen. We have to change things.
For the past years, we have been destroying actually the very source that sustain our lives. So people are starting to think that we need to do things differently now.
There is a lot of inequity in our world. There is a lot of environmental degradation in our world. And to address all of these challenges and future unanticipated ones, that is why ESD is such a necessary thing for our times.
ESD appears like the most feasible way to change our behavior among ourselves and with the rest of the living beings.
Climate change, poverty and injustice, food crises, the overuse of natural resources are challenges for politicians, entrepreneurs, consumers, everybody in every society. It is simply not enough to think about only one issue, for example, the environmental aspect.
For me, being an environment educator, ESD means expanding the scope of environment education beyond nature education to include interconnections and complexities of human development and conservation.
The leadership training is more than environmental education. The training that is implemented by the Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit GIZ in cooperation with the ESD Expert Network and Engagement Global, executed by Denkmodell, KMGNE and Wieneke Hillebrecht & Partner, adopts new approaches. During 6 months, the participants work on various topics related to education for sustainable development and leadership. Field trips are also a part of the training. Furthermore, each participant completes an internship in one of the 4 involved countries.
So we have several different subject areas like economy, like the sciences, like the social sciences, and they are usually dealt with separately in the school curricula. But what we need for sustainable development is to put them together into one, let's say, mindset.
A new mindset. A request for new perspectives.
I think 20 years ago we started
with more topic-based education for sustainable development. We have a lot of struggle to integrate all these things in the curriculum of every type of education. And now we are thinking about rethinking a little bit in the direction of looking more on structure of education.
There is so much more behind it. It's not just learning about a theory or a subject. You learn so much about countries, about people, of the connection we have. So it's a chance, and with this chance related are for me things like an open mind, the ability to reflect themselves, me as a person and other persons.
The world changes, the circumstances are changing, so you have to think in which way school or education in general still fits to the changing realities around us.
Thomas Popkowitz, one of the leading educators, he described how in modernity education became the mechanism of putting things right that were going wrong. But the challenge with ESD is it just doesn't want to put things right so that modernity continues. It wants to change the direction of the modern project. It wants to move to great equity and sustainability.
To change the whole world is a challenging thing to do, and explicitly things like thinking in complex terms and having different dimensions of what the world is all about in one's mind is a very important thing to do. So I think it's a continuous process across all levels of education.
Exactamente. Entonces,
Personal and interdisciplinary competencies are needed. The ability to global and systematic thinking in a context of complex interdependencies is essential. And ESD is not just about that. To go this way, it's not enough to know just your own shoes.
To bring change, like, we have to work together. And in what way? If you are in my shoes, you can feel exactly what I'm feeling, then we'll be able to work together. But if you don't feel what I'm feeling, it will really be difficult to work together.
The core competence needed for ESD, oh God, there's lists and lists. But I think what I liked most was the one of empathy, understanding and thoughtfulness. And I think many times in trying to follow an academic approach to it, we forget that.
It goes down to the self. Who are you? What are you doing? What do you believe in? What are your values? What are your attitudes? You see, that composition of who you are goes deep into what you're going to do. You see, it's something simple like switching off lights. How much water are you using? If you're going to brush your teeth and leave the tap running, it's going to impact on how much water you're going to use.
We must be aware that our actions today will have an impact on the lives and the freedom of future generations, as well as on the lives of people in other parts of the world. ESD is an important aspect of education quality, as it enables people to understand the global context they live in and to shape their actions accordingly, not purely a theoretical academic approach.
I consider ESD as lifelong learning, and not only, by the way, in informal structures, informal institutions like school or universities, but also outside. There are quite a lot of varieties of informal education. We are learning throughout our life in very different situations.
Education is not about a teacher and a learner only, but it's about everyone who is participating there, where they can put their views and work together with a common understanding of achieving something in life.
In India, you have this in the back of the house. There's a little garden or little space which you have, which is called angan. which is like an open space where you can do multiple things. So it's a resource in some way. It's like, it's a place where you sit in the sun. It's a place where you dry things when you want to. It's a place where you make pickles. It's a place where you just hang out with the family on an off day, and or if you have or you can build a shed for the animals that you have. So it's like, it's the one space which has multiple uses, and one space which is an extension of your home, but it's also the environment around you. So it's this image that comes to my mind, that it is like how ESD is a part of your world, yet a part of the world.
ESD is not only about institutions, it is also about new ways of learning, everywhere, with all senses.
When I was a child, with my grandmother, for example, she was blind, and she tried to know me, touching me. And for me it was important, this experience, because I could know that it's not only the one sense important for know other things. And you need to be open for all different ways for know other people, and not only the people now, the environment or different cultures or other things.
It's not enough just to have a theoretical approach, to learn by heart how things work out. You have to be able to touch them, to eat what you grow, to have a personal relationship with nature. So these personal experiences actually make that you want things to change. And so I assume that everybody has his or her personal motivation, but I think that my motivation started in the garden of my grandfather.
ESD is a process, an ongoing search, a new way to learn, a new way to answer, an impulse, and more.
Change, action.
Revolution, of course, we need it.
Thinking responsible and acting responsible.
Getting to know our resources better, to appreciate them more, and how to use them wisely.
During the first week, we were riding a train, the U-Bahn. And for some reason we were like learning this South African song called Shosholoza. And it's very simple lyrics, but once someone starts singing, then a third person comes in, and then a fourth person comes in, and then you can see the whole train was singing that song. Even people that were not part of our group, they joined in, and it was so great that anything like jumps into the moment.
One word for me would be together, because the truth is I cannot do it alone, you cannot do it alone, but together we can. Fela mo, but I feel. Thank you.